There are just some videos that I get so excited to sit down and record. This is definitely one of them because these are like the videos I live for. I love the Easter eggs, the ARGs, the deep dives. This is what I'm all about here. And BioWare has put on a clinic in my eyes when it comes to N7 Day for 2023, where when we first woke up and we just saw a little message from Mike Gamble, it was like, all right, you know, the game's still a couple of years away. We're probably not going to get much, but I thought they popped off, and we have a lot to talk about narratively again for Mass Effect 5, and I believe after this teaser, it is safe to officially start calling it that. There are so many clues packed away within here. It is a masterwork here from BioWare. I gotta give them all the love. The whole team killed it, in my opinion. Let's not delay any further. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're new here, you're into BioWare, Mass Effect, Dragon Age, whatever it may be BioWare, you're in the right place. Consider subscribing. Let's begin at the top. So like I said, we got a little bit of a letter here from Mass Effect franchise director and executive producer Mike Gamble, who's just reflecting on Mass Effect. But as you got deeper into his message at the bottom, you'd start to see that there were zeros and ones seemingly out of place, promoting all of these various things throughout Mass Effect's N7 Day. And they're making all of the Dark Horse, Mass Effect, and Dragon Age comics available in a convenient package, which is really exciting. But where you really want to start things off are some of the teaser sites that were discovered. So the first one, all of these being promoted by Mike Gamble, was access code Epsilon here. And it says under the secondary encryption detection that VJBSVU, that will be important later, Andromeda distress signal detected, year sent redacted, audio transcript, although they should know by now not to underestimate the human redacted. Now, first and foremost, let's talk about the access code, Epsilon. What is Epsilon? What does that mean? Well, if you just look up a basic definition of it, Epsilon is the fifth letter in the Greek alphabet. Mass Effect 5, perhaps? Or Mass Effect Epsilon might be a good name to go by. What's more interesting, this well goes deep, y'all. Get ready. Is when you found out what the code names were before they decided on Mass Effect over at BioWare. And one of them, which you're going to see here on the bottom right corner of this tweet from Mass Effect News, is the Epsilon effect. So it's kind of calling back to the original design of Mass Effect, which I just found to be a really deep cut. Now, there was also the audio transcript, right? Which goes back to what Liara said. Although they should know by now not to underestimate human defiance, right? And this is Liara saying this, Doctor, Shadow Broker, and Redacted. I think I have a feeling on who that person in this N7 Day trailer is, but we'll break all of that down. So now you have context for the audio transcript. It seems like this is coming from Liara, but I think more importantly, Mass Effect Andromeda is mentioned here. There is a distress signal being sent out. And what this means is it's likely confirming what we saw in the original reveal trailer for Mass Effect 5, where you saw the Milky Way and then you saw the Andromeda Galaxy, right? You see those two and people thought that's already a deliberate tease that these two are going to be involved somehow. Obviously, those were just teases, but now this is the first time we're seeing the Andromeda Galaxy for Mass Effect 5 mentioned in writing, which makes me think that like now we're gonna see these worlds cross. So you can maybe get this redemption arc and a wrap up on the DLC that was originally supposed to be a part of Mass Effect Andromeda before it got canceled, the single player DLC, and now you get that continuation of the Mass Effect crew that you know and love. And this could be a perfect storm where we could elevate the characters of Andromeda that just didn't get enough time, attention, or I gotta be honest, quality writing, and bringing in the N7 crew that we just know and love, and they are going to bring everyone to another level. Now, all of this ended with a brief snippet of a trailer, 5 seconds long, of someone's boots, and maybe people thought that was it. Now, what I want you to pay attention to with this trailer is the bottom part of their outfit, which I found to be eerily reminiscent of this outfit here from Liara, where you can see in the rightmost shot of her that little draping down cape, this is something that's only available for her. And given that this is a more feminine figure, as we'll show in more of the trailers, I feel like I am being led to believe more and more this is Liara. But there's more clues beyond that. So afterwards, another access code had popped up. This one is access code Ulon 2819 Defiance. These are all keywords or numbers. It does mention here they're also briefing the materials on the official Alliance comms channel. Let's start off with the number. 2819 may be the redacted year sent, which we mentioned earlier in the first shot. This is from the mega thread over on Reddit covering N7 Day, as we know that Defiance is the redacted last word. The year 2819 is when Arc Lusunia, Arc Natanus, and Arc Parchero arrived in the Helios cluster. Going back to this original post from Mass Effect News, which by the way, Mike Gamble did like, you'll see on the top right in the imagery here, the Ulon. So that's strange. Here we have Ulon 2819 as well as Defiance. Alongside this post was another piece of the trailer where you start to see a lot of the, we'll say, N7 color scheme, right? So now we're starting to lean into Spectre territory, perhaps, right? And I'm starting to think to myself, okay, we already saw N7 in the first trailer teasing Mass Effect 5. Now we're getting this. It's clear as day they're referencing more and more, like, we're going to bring Shepard back. But is it Shepard in this trailer? Well, there was one more tease to go through. So after all of this, there were two pieces of fan art that BioWare had retweeted. What you may not notice on these, though, are the QR codes that were tucked away in various parts of the image. Given that this is a part of the official marketing for Mass Effect 5, I think it is worth looking a bit into what these images are, where you see Shepard, EDI, as well as Garrus in one shot, where the next one you see is Eden Prime, humanity's first paradise among the stars. I don't know if there are any major takeaways here, but I can't help with all of the other clues that have just been tucked away like that, if this actually means anything at all. But it leads us, this QR code, to another brand new website. This one has access code post Nebula. And this one had a much longer countdown time, as you can see in the image here. Where the others were about half an hour upon discovery, this one was at around an hour and a half. So people were waiting for a while to see, all right, this has to be the wrap-up. Eventually, the countdown ends and it says that the code has been accepted post Nebula. Warning, security breach detected, contact Systems Alliance. Epsilon, Ulon, Nebula. And it is confirmed that this is the end of the N7 Day teases, because you see here that the Mass Effect Twitter account posts, transmission complete. Thanks to everyone that helped hunt down the footage. Here's the full video stitched together, which you are now watching on screen. One other thing worth pointing out as we wrap this up is that this trailer actually may be our first legitimate in-game look at Mass Effect 5, as you'll see at the bottom before the trailer actually plays, and this was not in any of the teasers that are released separately. It says gameplay not final, represents game in development, but it's referenced as gameplay instead of in an engine shot or whatever. So just as a little tip here, this may be our first look in-game at Mass Effect 5, and naturally, it looks pretty dang good. So the big question is, when the pistol is drawn, you see the full outfit, you see the N7, you see the mask, you can tell it's a feminine figure. Many people are wondering, who is that? I've seen Fenshep, I've seen Liara, I've seen EDI. Who is that? I think it goes back to that pinned tweet on Mike Gamble's Twitter account, where I believe this is Liara, because it says Liara Tassoni, Doctor, Shadow Broker, and Redacted. And it's here in this trailer, 1 year later, we see what I believe is a Spectre who is walking down with a helmet on. And given how much Liara has been a major focus in all of this, right? I just feel she's been elevated now to that level. Because what other indication do we have? I think this is the direction I want to go in. There's no guarantee. No one knows. Now, in fairness, that's my theory. However, there are other ways to look at this mystery and get a completely different answer out of this. When this user had posted over on Reddit the 3 and 7 slow walks, it made me realize something. You had Shepard on the left, you had Ryder in the middle, and that would be your two MCs, right? So whoever this is on the right in the new N7 Day trailer is likely our main character. Now, it's not impossible that Liara is the main character for this new Mass Effect game. I would be stunned if that were the case, but it's also possible this is a new Shepard. Some have even speculated Shepard and Liara's kid. I mean, the theories are wild, but I think one thing is firmed up here. Whoever we're seeing walking through this trailer is our next protagonist. We don't know if it's Shepard. It's possible with the N7 imagery. We don't know if it's Liara for sure, although that's my guess, but would that make her the MC? Is that possible? There's a lot of ways we can go about this one, but given how much Liara focus is there, I guess it's food for thought that maybe she is your main character. And if you needed just one more theory, here you are, the brand new poster revealed with our seemingly main character for Mass Effect 5. And within their cloak, their very much Starborn Destiny 2 hybrid cloak, you'll see what looks to be a nightclub of sorts. And naturally, when we think nightclubs in the Mass Effect universe, we think about Omega, we think about Afterlife. And if this is an Asari, a lot of people are starting to think maybe this is Arya, who you see a lot in Mass Effect 2. That's the first time you meet her, and she carries over into Mass Effect 3 in quite an important way. And given that she's holding this singular pistol, there's this almost espionage feel and look to her whole entire getup. Is it possible it's Arya? It's just another theory, of course, but naturally, this is an important setting here, and I don't even know for sure if this is Omega. It's just our best guess as of this moment in time. And this is going to haunt us for a while, because then Mike Gamble, one last tweet to cap the day off, says, not everything is as it seems, right? So there have been so many clues over these last couple of years, right? Like the whole community has come together these last 2 N7 days to really start piecing something together. And I wouldn't be surprised if in the coming days, there is more taken out of what's available online. And as we start to piece together all the various things that have happened in prior N7 days, like even down to Mike Gamble's profile photo or the teases of Reapers in some way, it's very interesting to see where they're going with Mass Effect 5, but it looks like here we get a pretty strong confirmation that it's going to be called either Mass Effect 5 or Mass Effect Epsilon, one of these two, and we do get a pretty strong confirmation that Mass Effect Andromeda and the original Mass Effect trilogy in some way are going to tie together, and that the Milky Way team is going out to save the Andromeda team. I just can't wait to learn more. It's kind of sad in a sense, though, that we're getting so much Mass Effect teases and information, but we're still really in the dark in Dragon Age territory. Hopefully we get more answers on that this year, maybe at the Game Awards. Many people are speculating we'll get more Mass Effect at the Game Awards, but I think this is it, right? Like, this is a good thing for N7 Day, but I don't want them to force anything. Like, they can go quiet for the next year and come out next N7 Day and maybe do something even more spectacular. But I just gotta say again, hats off to the BioWare team. This was so much fun to track all day, to watch the community breaking it all down and to be able to cover it. Just a ton of fun. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's everything that happened today on N7 Day for 2023. We got a lot of teases here. What do you make of everything? Because certainly there's so much to pick apart from all of this. Is there maybe a tease that I missed that you think is leading us somewhere else? Who do you think this masked figure is with the sick Destiny drip? Let me know down below. Other than that, take excellent care of yourselves, and I will see you next time around. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. And a big thank you to all the patrons, all the members who continue to support the heck out of the content here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.